Yeah, ChatGPT is amazing. The only drawback here is otherwise it's gonna be a roller coaster, a lot of ups and downs, lot of ups and downs.
How should a 20-year-old know that this is the idea that I should be working on?
Because telling an entrepreneur he's not an entrepreneur is a say not a thing anyone will take lightly. So have no idea, get a mentor, get a guide, and if you don't know what you're doing, then you are just wasting your time. That's like 20 years of experience in when you finish reading that book.
So my first question to you would be, what inspired you to be an entrepreneur in the first place?
Oh, I still remember the moment when I was young in college. I was like, if I ever want to work somewhere, I want to be a company CEO. I want to run my own firm. I want to start my own venture. Or like dream jaisa tha. It was a dream to me. So probably that dream itself was the inspiration. The vision itself of myself being an entrepreneur was my inspiration. And when I started my journey, my family did tell me that you should take up a job. So I did take up a job for a month or two, and then I quit. It was like I was, like Spider-Man at a desk when he wants to go out there and save the world. So it was kind of very boring, and I wanted to get out of that setup, and I immediately started, being an entrepreneur after that. And I have loved the journey so far. It's been like 10 years and it's a crazy journey. It's a crazy journey. It's a roller coaster ride, like lots of ups and downs, but it's worth it.
Okay, great. So if you could tell what was the very first business you did?
Oh, I started building a health search engine, and I always thought that if you have an amazing idea, a $1 billion idea, you will become a billionaire. But to be honest, it doesn't work that way. Idea is just 1% of the whole game. You need the 99% is execution. How will you execute it? How will you make that success? How will you get there? What are the keys? What are the strategies? That's the most important thing. So most people don't value that fact and they start building, and that's where it goes wrong. You think, okay, your idea is amazing, you'll get successful. It doesn't work that way. So I had that same mindset. I was like, okay, idea is everything, 95% is idea. And then I realized that idea is just 1% of the game. The rest 99% is the execution. So with time I became better and better and better and better at execution. And today I'm at the top of my game. 15 minutes with a client and I will have closed that client. 15 minutes with anyone about anything and I'll have closed the deal.
Okay, great. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So at what age would you say you started the app you're talking about?
Oh, I was 23 back then when I started the journey.
Okay, and like, was it successful? Were you successful?
Oh no, I failed miserably.
So
And,
when was the first time you made, let's say, a real chunk of money?
So that was quite interesting. So after I, had around 23 grand, I invested the money and I burnt it. My dad was like, "You don't know how to run a company. You are not an entrepreneur." And I took it to heart because telling an entrepreneur he's not an entrepreneur is a not a thing anyone will take lightly. So I was like, okay, I'll prove to you. So I immediately named a business, made a website, printed a business card, and I started looking for clients. At that time, I had a brilliant idea. So I was like, okay, what is the most used thing today? And back then it was WhatsApp. And I don't know, till today it could also be WhatsApp. So what I did was I put up a message and I put up, उस time पे status भी नहीं थे. There were no statuses back then. So I just put up a WhatsApp message to a few friends and connects I knew who I felt would be, would send me some good work. So I sent a message saying, if you are on a PC, check out my website link. And what happened was a school friend, reached out saying, my client needs a website. Can you help? So within 24 hours, I had my first client. And that's why my journey started. And I started, helping other entrepreneurs and businesses get better, build their online presence, do websites, digital marketing, design, sales. And with time, I went international as well.
Okay. As you already know, the whole idea of this podcast is to inspire and educate 20-year-olds who are just starting out or who want to build something of their own someday. So, yeah, keeping that in perspective, how does someone know that my ideas should be like let me frame it better. How should a 20-year-old know that this is the idea that I should be working on?
Oh, it's a good question.
Yeah.
A lot of people, say start going in the thinking zone and they are like,
Yeah.
okay, hum 2 mahina market research karenge.
Yeah.
Bullshit, don't do that. Pull up an Excel sheet, list all your best ideas, put things like time, resources, TAM, which is total addressable market, SOM, which is service obtainable market, etc., etc. And you just, put all those numbers in perspective and see where you fit best in the current, life stage of your life. So what happens is, let's say you have maybe 3 different ideas or maybe 30 different ideas, it doesn't matter. You are going to end up picking the one which suits you better. Like for example, let's say you want to build maybe an operating system, which would ideally take a lot of resources versus you would want to just build an AI app, which you could do by yourself. Now, in the present scenario of your life, what would be wiser to choose is where most entrepreneurs, make a mistake. They are like, okay, we'll do this, we'll take 6 months, we'll take 1 year, but it should be fine. That's the biggest mistake every entrepreneur makes.
Okay.
Just choose something which is, the very relevant to you and it's possible for you to do.
Okay.
Try to build something within a month and test the waters, test it in the market, go out, talk to it about people, talk about it to people, and start testing the waters. And if you find success immediately, that's a good sign.
Okay. And I've also read it like multiple times now that what people do is they try to go for the product market fit, but the new term that's been going around, or I would say the thing that people should look is product founder market fit. So, do you know, have you heard about it?
I don't know. It's just a fancy way of saying that the founder should be, in the right place at the right time with the right amount of skills and knowledge. It's very important. Let's say if I start a business is something I don't know, then there are very good chances that I will not be able to run the business well. Like if I don't know design and I run a design company, a lot of people will first question, okay, what's your credibility? Again, there are some people who do this, which is fine. But then you would need experts on the team who could validate, whatever is going on. Otherwise, you wouldn't know who's doing what quality of work and what quality of services are being delivered, what quality of products are being delivered, and you would end up running a mediocre company.
Yeah, so the question was entrepreneurship seems very fancy from the outside, but I wanted to give me one harsh truth that you've come across.
That's very true. Even when I began my journey, I thought it to be a very fancy thing. That when I be an entrepreneur, I'll be able to make a lot of money, and my life will be so amazing, so easy. But I feel this boils down to your personal journey. Your actually only thing matters here is the execution skills of an entrepreneur. I feel nothing else is important because if execution skills are good, then you will easily survive and go succeed. Otherwise, it's gonna be a roller coaster, lot of ups and downs, lot of ups and downs. I never thought that entrepreneurship could bring me nervous breakdowns. It could bring me, tough situations like zero bank balance, not once, not twice, but I think thrice. And at that time, I realized, and actually, it was a very beautiful, learning where when I was at zero, I realized that there is a lot of freedom entrepreneurship gives you, but you should learn how to utilize that time and that freedom because entrepreneurs have the ability to create something. Entrepreneurs have this, opportunity to start something new. But if you don't know what you're doing, if you have no idea, get a mentor, get a guide. And if you don't know what you're doing, then you are just wasting your time. And that's what happened initially in my journey. So I feel wasting time is a harsh truth. Thinking that you'll be very successful could be a harsh truth, but again, execution skills. If you are very good at execution, you will start succeeding immediately. So that's what matters.
To follow up on that fact, many young people these days sort of expect to get rich quickly or they want to achieve the success very early on. But do you think that's okay? So, personally, I value knowledge a lot. And I mean, it's one of the most essential things to begin with as an entrepreneur. So, how does one gain knowledge outside from the traditional perspective of schools and universities or the traditional education?
There are lots of ways to learn today. Since we have internet,
But
we have
specifically
ChatGPT.
for someone who's starting out.
Okay. I feel, there are lots and lots of ways. I'll talk about books and stuff. I'll talk about courses you could do. I could talk about, places you could go. Um, but I would start with two important things here. First being, what I've seen is a difference in, people who are better versus people who are, say, better entrepreneurs versus, entrepreneurs who are just okay. Is the first difference is that the entrepreneurs who have a willingness to learn, like, they just want to learn. They have a lot of curiosity in them. Those people are the ones who succeed the best. So that first being that curiosity of learning something is the most important. And second being, having the ability to learn practically from things. Like there are things which books can't teach you. There are things which experiences will teach you. So, are you saying something? Yeah. So there are things which books can't teach you. There are things which courses can't teach you, and those things are practical experiences. You learn by way of practical experiences. So one of the things here you should remember is don't make the same mistake twice. And when we talk about how to gain knowledge if you are a new entrepreneur, I feel start networking and being around people who are already successful, who have played the game, and they are willing to give you that time and energy to maybe tell you the right things at the right time. For example, I have told things to a lot of entrepreneurs a lot of times. One advice could change the direction of your life. For example, Alex Hormozi was running. Okay, wait, let me recollect. Alex Hormozi was a gym trainer, I guess.
Yeah, he has his own gym.
Yeah, he was a gym trainer. He was actually running a gym business, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Alex Hormozi was running a gym business. And when he met Russell Brunson told him to stop that and instead start helping, clients, particularly gym owners, with client acquisition. That changed the direction of his life, and he became what he is today. He became very, very famous because of the say new direction he got, and of course he did the hustle and he got successful. So sometimes the right people who nudge you in the right direction make a huge difference to your life. So first is by networking with such people, being around such people. Identifying such people is important, and going to such places and events where you could find such people and asking the right questions when you meet them is so important. And then otherwise, there are always courses, a lot of good interesting YouTube videos. ChatGPT could teach you, but then I don't know how effective it would be, because there would be a lot
It is
of,
pretty effective.
yeah,
So
but there would be flaws, right? I mean,
recently, so I started learning coding, and just to give you an instance, I just tell GPT that teach me XYZ things and correct me where I'm wrong, and just guide my knowledge to understanding the whole problem. So it does a brilliant job.
okay, yeah, ChatGPT is amazing. The only drawback here is, how would you know that ChatGPT is right all the time? So somewhere that is something.
It's not.
Yeah, that is something which bothers me to recommend it as a learning tool, but I love it as a tool which will give you the right information at the right time. But here, let me go back to the point where you can learn from the same people via their courses, via their YouTube videos, via their Instagram accounts, and whatever they are teaching, whatever they are talking about, because that's the fastest way to learn from a successful person.
Okay.
And of course, if they have written any books, because they just imagine I have, or someone has, say, 20 years of experience, and they write a book that's like 20 years of experience. In when you finish reading that book, that's like 2 days, and you get 20 years of wisdom.
Yeah.
So yeah, books are one of the best ways to learn. And there are a lot of places where joining a fellowship, Thiel fellowship, or joining something like Y Combinator, or even in the Indian scenario, there are a lot of newer places. I don't know them by heart, but yeah, you could join such
Okay.
places, it's incubation centers and more,
Okay.
where you would accelerate your startup journey better.
Okay. So to summarize it, first networking, learning with people, then internet, and then maybe the books.
And it can be anything for you, whatever you think, whatever you feel is best for you.
Okay.
It should not be that this is the best way to learn. I feel that the first thing, go back to the curiosity of learning. Learn. The attitude of learning is so important.
Yeah.
I had dropped that a while back, and I was like, when I saw people who were so curious, I was like, why can't I be the same? And I started being that. One thing as an entrepreneur I do is if I see something good about someone, I immediately adapt that, and I become like that. Like that's an ability I have learned over the years, and I'm proud of that.
Lastly, to wrap it up, any book suggestions, book advice you'd like to give out?
Oh man, there are lots and lots of books I could suggest, but I would say I would speak about the 3 books by Russell Brunson. They are crazy. They are fire, like really fire. So .com Secrets, Expert Secrets, Traffic Secrets. .com Secrets teaches you about funnels and sales.
Okay.
Expert Secrets teaches you about who you are and how you can be more effective in your life and as an entrepreneur, or even someone who wants to be very successful and build a cult following. And then Traffic Secrets teaches you how to get people, on your page, website, funnel, or whatever you are trying to build, or even a company. And there's one more book. This one, Sabri Suby's Sell Like Crazy. It's one of the best books I've ever read.
Okay.
It teaches you the same things Russell Brunson teaches, but in a more concise and say simpler way. And he's a crazy Australian entrepreneur. He has built an agency which is very successful. He has a wait list of clients. It's like an amazing book. And these are the other 3 books I was talking about. So .com Secrets, Traffic Secrets,
Okay.
and Expert Secrets. Crazy books for any funnel hacker or sales guy who wants to learn the best strategies in growing a company or increasing the sales.
Great. It was lovely to chat with you.
Amazing,
Awesome advice,
man.
great tips. I'm pretty sure everyone would at least gain something and use it while they're in the journey. So yeah, thank you so much.
Guys, follow him, subscribe to his channel. He is a crazy guy and he's going to be very successful.